It's pizza, and this time I put baby corn on it, so it might be kind of weird. But
Baby corn on pizza.
yeah.
New topping. Yeah, we've seen some. There's a pizza
Makes my
place in
lap
town
warm.
that had some weird ones. A very good pizza place. We better not mention it because we're not really reviewing it. I don't think they can block it if you're reviewing something, right? You know, they shouldn't be able to. I mean, that's part of free speech is being able to review books and so on and so forth.
I'm just finishing up my carrot pie, and I made some hot beet chocolate.
Yeah, I've had that before, and it's it's an acquired taste.
And well, today I made my chai medicinal grade, so
Yeah.
it's whew, hot. A lot of ginger.
So that was just carrot juice, right?
Yep.
Okay. No apple mixed in.
No, there was some tomato. Because
Okay,
I had.
It actually
I
tastes
didn't
pretty
want,
good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
didn't
mixture.
want my crust to be that. See, I'm using fresh tomatoes because right now we have a lot of fresh tomatoes at our disposal. But
Yeah, if you've been tuning in, Pauline's
yeah.
been weighing them every day, all the stuff that she's produced at her place and that she's helped me produce at my place. She
But,
planted them at my place, and she's harvesting them now because my back's in bad shape.
But still, the sauce, like it's a lot better to make the. This is a broccoli crust again, but it's a lot better to make the cauliflower crust pizza or whatever with the tomato sauce. It works out a lot better. This makes it a little bit mushy.
Yeah, it
with
doesn't
the
matter
fresh
to me.
tomatoes
I mean, a
rather
lot
than
of people
tomato
like
paste.
pizza, like eat by with the hands or the fingers or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It's the taste that matters. You know?
Yeah.
The
So-
texture doesn't matter.
I mean, once James eats it cold, then it holds together like a pizza. But with the fresh tomatoes, and well, frankly, I put a lot of mushrooms on there too.
Always helps with the pizza. But the corn stuff's pretty good. The baby corn.
Okay.
Baby corn pizza.
We had it, and I mean, I have been giving it to the dogs.
Some of the baby corn.
Yeah, because they love it.
I love them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been walking around. It looks as though they're
It's
smoking corn cob cigars, not pipes. They're quite proud of lugging these. This is a baby corn around.
So, what were you talking about today?
Well, I don't have a book or something similar to review. It's kind of unusual because I've had a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
today's election day in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it is.
Coming.
Yeah, you're right. I think so.
So, I don't know if you'll have time to post it before election. Well, almost surely before election time's over. If you haven't voted, vote strategically. Vote strategically. Do not let Aaron O'Toole, or his full name is Aaron O'Toole, do not let him get in to any situation. I can't see him getting enough votes to get a majority, but do not let him get in with the Bloc Québécois with a whip hand. I'm afraid they'll do the same thing as they did with Stephen Harper. What the Bloc Québécois will be hoping that some flunky conservative backbencher or several is going to say something that'll alienate the Quebecers and cause some sort of constitutional crisis. The other thing is, if Aaron O'Toole gets in,
Our economy is going to turn to shit.
yep,
Everyone's personal, like your standard of living, is going to go down.
yeah,
So if you think that it's bad now,
Because he's talking about, he's making ugly noises about balancing the budget, all that sort of stuff. When conservatives make noises about that, they don't tell
It's
you.
not them and their flunkies who are going to
No.
pay it off.
Mm-mm.
No,
It's you.
It's you.
How do we know? They keep on
History.
yipping and yapping in the United States in here about how bad the debt crisis is. Check it out. Check it out. You'll find out, they've been squawking in the United States for decades now about how bad the debt crisis has been. Going back to Reagan. So what is that? It's over. It's over 40 years. Squawk, squawk, squawk. And they don't do anything substantial about it.
No.
Now, what's the key about that? After World War II, Uncle Sam had been borrowing from any number of places in order to finance World War II, their effort per capita. And that's the important thing, not the overall figure. Because in the United States, the population is so much bigger now. The important thing is per capita, mutatis mutandis, in other words, adjusted for inflation. The United States was in deeper debt after World War II than probably it is even now. But then it was up until the COVID crisis. And the United States had it paid off fairly quickly, fairly easily. What did they do? They actually taxed rich people. Simple. They actually taxed rich people. We were watching a documentary a while back, and Warren Buffett was
A long
featured.
while back, because we haven't had a TV set up for, I don't know, a year? More?
Year and a half.
It's been a while.
Anyway. And we really haven't missed it that much.
No.
You never hear me saying, "Gosh,
Nope.
darn it, we've got to go out and get a TV."
We've been
You know?
working on other
I think
things,
one
reading
time you
more,
said,
writing.
we should get a DVD player. That's
Yeah.
just once.
Well, I noticed
year and a
at the
half.
library they got a bunch of great courses.
Yeah,
It's like-
it's just for the great courses. It's not to see
well,
The Big Bang Theory, which I kind of like. Pauline doesn't care for that much. And anyway, Warren Buffett was featured heavily on this documentary. And he was complaining about the heavy tax rate. He's complaining about his tax rate. It was 13%. That's his own figures. And he was complaining. He was saying it was too little. Too little. You flunky capitalists out there who don't pay your way. 13%? The average person in Canada, a middle-class person, pays way more than that. Maybe twice that. I don't know what it is like in the United States. It might not be quite as high. It might be higher. Well, I know. 13%. They had another flunky capitalist. Well, Warren Buffett isn't a flunky. But they had a flunky capitalist on there. He was complaining. He was paying 8%. That's according to his own admission.
oh, that's so good.
And he, unlike Warren Buffett, was complaining that he was paying too much. 8%. Gosh. So the way to get out of this debt crisis is just tax the rich folks just a little bit more. 8%, 13%. Come on. So, and of course, they're the ones who are squawking about the debt crisis. Hey, get rid of this debt. I'll start worrying about the debt when they put their money, their big money, maybe not even much of their big money, where their big fat mouths are. So, you elect Aaron O'Toole, and you can see what he'll be like by looking at Jason Kenney. Similar problems federally and provincially. Jason Kenney, while the COVID crisis has been going on, has been desperately trying to keep the very wild Rose Party members in line, and the people who support the very wild Rose Party in Alberta in line. What Aaron what a tool would be doing is trying to keep the people who would be attracted by Maxime Bernier and his so-called People's Party. It's really a monsters party. And also keep the people who tend to support that kind of party on side and in line. I hope it doesn't get to the point where my prediction has to come true. Because it doesn't have to. Don't elect Aaron. Oh, what a tool. No. Justin Trudeau, or in Justin Trudeau, is pretty much of a tool too. But you're just not that much of a tool. Not that much of a tool. We wouldn't go saying, oh, what a tool that Trudeau is. You just say, what a tool. Whereas with Aaron O'Toole, it's Aaron, oh, what a tool. I understand when he was running for leadership of the Conservative Party, he was running to the right, or at least Peter MacKay. Now he's switcherooed. He's trying to woo the middle of the Canadian political spectrum.
So frankly,
you in the middle,
know right away that
don't get fooled.
He's a liar.
He's a
right?
liar.
I mean, either he is actually way more right than he's letting on now, or back then he was way more center than he was letting on then.
He's a liar.
So either way, he was working to get elected, right?
Whatever is convenient for him, and what will be convenient for him if he's elected, even in a minority situation, is keeping the people who'd be in or vote for the so-called People's Party. Why you'd want flunkies like that in your party, I don't know. Why you'd want populists like the very wild Rose Party in the United Conservative Party, I don't know. It's shameful. Yeah. It's shameful. When you get a society where
they're not going to get elected otherwise, right?
Well, the thing is, you've actually got to have some principles.
Yeah, I know.
The NDP should have principles and punt the anarchists and the communists from their party.
Yeah,
of course, they don't do it.
And get back to representing the working people.
Instead of representing the vanguard of the revolution.
So, anyway, hot chocolate beet was awesome, and I will be making a treat out of what I've sieved out of the solids off of that. I just drank 5 beets.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that took a lot of work this morning. And I don't know if the food processor will ever be the same.
Oh, the juicer.
The juicer.
The juicer does not like doing beets.
Screaming.
It's.
I mean, you've beaten up juicers or food processors.
Oh, I've killed so many.
Yeah.
But this juicer that I have has held on for years, and I keep my fingers crossed every time I use it for beets that it won't go.
There was one time it was complaining so loudly. Well, it made it.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of good, pizza, awesome.
Good.
Very good.
I
Baby
mean, once
corn worked
winter
like a charm.
comes, you'll be eating it with tomato paste again, so it won't be so mushy.
And mushiness doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
As you can see, I just eat it with a fork or whatever.
But it would be healthier this way, I bet you, with the fresh tomatoes.
Oh, of course.
Paste. I don't know what they put in tomato paste.
Yeah. We're not going to single out any.
I'm even wondering if
brand.
there's tomatoes in there.
There'd be some sort of.
These days.
I don't know what they'd have in there. Tomato skins or all mushed up. Hard to say.
Yeah, you'd think there'd. Because tomato paste, it might just refer to the color.
Yeah, it's like a drink or as opposed to a juice, right?
Yeah.
Drink. What else do they call it? Beverage. You know,
Yeah.
you got to watch that because I don't think they need to have any juice
Yeah.
in things that are designated. That might be with tomato paste, you know.
Yeah.
Funny how the laws are set up for
Oh, yeah.
corporatists,
Yeah. So
corporatist corporations.
if you're just a little member of the public that doesn't have a whole lot of wealth behind
Laws aren't really
your-
set up
your
and
bank
or
account,
interpreted
then-
for you.
you really have to watch out for yourself.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be buyer beware or
No.
whatever. You know, that's really,
I've got
Not
the formula
fair.
for that, and I've had it for decades.
I mean, what are we paying government for? If there's a, I mean,
Mhm.
you think that, okay, well, the government's there to, you have a food inspection agency or whatever.
Mhm.
Well, what are they doing? What exactly are they inspecting? And,
Yeah,
and
well, you know what inspections are like.
yeah.
Because
So-
you're not going to say where you have worked,
No.
but you've done inspections and you didn't get support.
Yeah, like I didn't really think much of it at the time, you
Yeah.
know, but it was customary. We'd give them a heads up. We'll be inspecting on this and this date or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so if you come up with a bad inspection, if you actually see something, what were they thinking? Because they got the heads up, right?
Mhm.
So, anyway.
Yeah, when you do that, that's just, it's like saying, we're going to be testing you for steroids in
Yeah.
a sport thing.
Yeah.
And apparently they do that,
Yeah.
at least in some sports.
Mhm.
It's not spot checks or whatever. But,
Then
yeah.
when you fail it, you really have to wonder
Yeah.
when the.
So
yeah.
buyer beware, in Latin it's caveat emptor. Emptor is buyer.
And really, why are you buying?
You know what it should be, though?
You know, try not to buy. Try to grow. Grow is better than buy.
Yep. So here's the deal. What it should be, the things that you have to buy. Caveat vendor.
Yeah.
You know what that means, right?
Mhm.
Vendor, seller. Caveat vendor. You watch out, you hose bags. You corporatist corporations.
I think I'm going to try to harvest much of my apple tree today because I don't know. It was a pretty brisk morning. Still is. I'm wearing several layers, as you can see. 2 pairs
Yeah,
of
I guess
pants.
I'm layered too. Two shirts, long sleeve.
Mhm.
I think they're extra large too, so they're kind of like they've got a lot of.
A lot of room in there.
Speaking of lot of, you got a
Oh, you
lot
want
more.
more?
Oh man, that was so good.
I didn't know. All right, so you're gonna have to fill out more time on the
On the,
camera then.
oh well, yeah, exactly
doing
right.
this,
Well,
you're gonna have to
what are we
think
going
of
to talk
something to
about?
talk
We talked about the election. We didn't really listen to CBC that much yesterday, did we?
No.
Maybe that's one reason why I'm in a relatively good mood. I don't mind people that much being stupid, so long as they're not doing it on my money, on Pauline's money, on our Chihuahua's money. It's ridiculous that they're allowed this bully pulpit. And,
But yeah, then I went to do weed inspecting for a municipal government, and I was like, I mentioned to the head weed inspector, well, you know, we'd phone ahead, you know.
it was the same deal.
And
as
she
with
just looked at me like, no, we don't do that, you know, kind
Okay.
of thing, right?
Mhm.
So at the municipal level, they had a little more.
So they didn't do what the feds were doing, is what
No.
you're saying. Okay.
No.
But still.
So they did not phone
Mhm.
ahead.
Mhm.
But at the same time, she told me only take on the battles you can win. So.
Which means, if you find just Jane and John Doe with some weeds in their backyard.
Exactly. Don't go after the big guys.
Yeah.
Only take on the battles you can win. So.
Oh. In essence, it's the same basic principle. In other words, Dennis doesn't want to take on Serena Williams because she's got too much money. Yeah. Same thing with, similar thing. But who's that idiot from Spain? Yeah. What a shame. I generally feel positive about Spain since 1974-75 when they got rid of Franco.
And also at the federal level, at the end of the season, I was told by my supervisor that if there were any open cases at the end of my season, then that would show that I wasn't a good weed inspector. Or I can't tell you what kind of... It wasn't a weed inspector for that one. But anyway...
Now, what was an open case?
Was a part of it. That was if
where someone was contending what you said?
That was if somebody didn't comply. If they're...
So that was your fault, eh? Is that what she was saying?
If
wow, that's
basically,
amazing.
if it's open, if they haven't
done right by the
by the
laws,
rules, then
that's your fault.
It's my fault.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, that's just an encouragement for them to.
It's an interesting
not to
world
cooperate
out there.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And you may as well be aware of it.
Yeah. So if you got a backyard full of goat's beard, is that what it's called?
What? No. What?
That kind of weed. Goat's beard or goat's... That weed.
Which one?
Goats.
Oh,
goats.
Are you talking about the one that the goats were eating?
Oh, no.
Cushion sponge?
No. The one that it's kind of got a yellow. It's got a very attractive blossom. It looks like a star. It faces towards.
Well, that is goat's beard, but I don't see why anyone would have a problem with that one.
It's not a noxious weed. Okay, there we go. So if someone has a yard full of dandelion,
well,
that's not considered noxious.
No, it's not.
Okay. If someone has a yard full of quackgrass, is that considered noxious? Okay. But there's some things that are noxious. What would be
and
one?
There's some that are prohibited noxious, and I'm sure you can find some in my yard and every yard around mine. And yours. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine more likely than
creeping
yours.
bellflower is a prohibited noxious weed.
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
I got
a few of those.
This whole city is full of it.
Yeah, well, some people think maybe it's
well, I imagine
attractive,
because I imagine because elderly, it used to be in people's flower beds. They probably thought it was really attractive at one point and put it there on purpose. And now, I mean, this city will have it forever.
How about milfoil? Is that one? Considered noxious?
You know what? You'd have to look up it's a big list.
Yeah.
Stuff that's
noxious. That stuff's amazing. Like it seems to grow anywhere.
It used to be called restricted. Noxious and then restricted, but now it's prohibited noxious and noxious.
Yeah.
Which I don't... I mean, there's some differences. Like loosestrife and stuff. That'd be
purple
prohibited.
loosestrife.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the stuff. I was down in Toronto. Mississauga, I should say.
But the ones that we were inspecting at one place, the ones that I inspected for the federal were not the same things because I was inspecting...
Countryside, right?
Yeah, I was inspecting for like different things that you wouldn't necessarily, that shouldn't belong in your food. Like, say those little... they're like tiny little, they sort of look like tomatoes on, they're solanaceae. What are they called again? Well, you can't have that in a pea
They're poisonous,
crop, obviously.
is what you're saying,
yeah,
right? Well,
because they're the size of peas. And so that would not be a good idea if that was in the pea crop, right? Or something, right? So there's different things.
How about local weed, or whatever it's called?
Yeah, that's probably, you could look, you could find out what you're not supposed to have growing in your various crops by looking at something called the Circular 6, which is online. I think that's what it was called.
It's a quote from Dickens. More, please.
Still?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff. Wow.
Good pizza, I guess. I'm going to keep trying to get the stuff from around the edge, because I think that, this stuff, the crust is soggy, so I bet you the middle one, that's really...
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, you only have 2 pieces left out of a whole pizza now. That's incredible. You were hungry. I guess this morning I've been basically, I think I've had a liquid morning. I had, the soup, the broccoli soup left over. So I had some nutmeg in that, which I think they used to use it to prevent bubonic plague.
Well,
yeah.
It's probably something like a vermifuge.
I don't know.
And,
it's pretty potent stuff.
And other types of fuge.
And, the only thing medicinal in my beet drink was beet. Because it was beet, chocolate, vanilla extract, and dates and coconut. That's it. So, but beets are pretty medicinal, I think. And carrot chai, well, that's a lot of medicinal
supposed to be incredibly medicinal when it comes to cancer.
Yeah. And I had hot lemon and honey first thing this morning. So, yeah, lots of healthy
What
stuff.
did you make in the middle of the night? I've kind of forgotten. I got something to eat.
I made you a sandwich with avocado.
That was a good sandwich. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
That was a huge sandwich.
That's good too, because cilantro is quite medicinal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it had some cucumber in it, and
Yep.
tomatoes. I think tomatoes are fairly good.
Yeah.
We still have some time there?
You have 2 minutes if
2 minutes.
You have something to talk about.
Well, I'm going to talk about the CBC.
Okay.
You're overrepresenting certain segments of the population and underrepresenting others. Everyone pays their taxes. You can't go around overrepresenting people, particularly people who are just new to the country. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, you stupid idiots? What you're doing is you're playing favorites. What you should be doing is doing it straight across the board. White males are so thoroughly underrepresented. It's like you've made them disappear. You've got the occasional Matt Galloway, her host, but the guests, you guys are a joke. You're a joke. All you do is turning people away from the left wing. You're a joke. Enough.